Hello guys, what is going on? I got a really good battle for you here today. Playing against Time Lord. This is a very good player, high elf player here. This is a map I've never seen before. Your deployment zones are kind of awkward. You got one right here, you have one kind of right here. Um, and so they're kind of offset from each other, and then there's this impassable terrain, these hills on either side, and kind of this narrow valley. Um, As for my army, I got two Stormvermin, Sword and Shield, the Council Guard, the Regiment of Renown Warp Lightning Cannon, as well as the Warp Lockjaw Regiment of Renown, four Clan Rats with Shields, one what you call it, the Clan Vulcan's Tail Slashers, two Slave Slingers, a Hellpit Abomination, a Warlock Engineer with the Warpstone armor, hoping to drain the hit points off my opponents, and Tretch, my new favorite lord, removing Verminous Valor, stripping him down a lot, giving him his lucky skull helm, and making him into a pretty hard to kill lord. For my opponent, this is invisible. For my opponent, he has a few units of Spearmen, 5 units of Spearmen, one of which is the Scions of Mathalon, the Regiment of Renown, going to give some, I think, ward save, as it is? They give a nice AoE buff. Let's check it out. Yeah, 12% ward save to everything within 40 meters. I think it's 40 meters. And then they have two archers, Lothran Sea Guard, a bolt thrower. They have a Lariel on a horse, a noble with the armor of the stars, so they're invisible, on a great eagle, a Flamespire Phoenix. They got a unit of Dragon Princes and 2 units of Illyrian Reavers forward deployed off to the sides. Now I'm looking at my opponent's army. I can't see the Noble and I can't see the 2 Illyrian Reavers, and it doesn't quite add up to me in my kind of quick mental math, so I'm pretty sure they have something hidden. I was kind of thinking Shadow Warriors for some reason, that I was going to get flanked by Shadow Warriors, but it ended up being the Illyrian Reavers. So I'm going to take a shot here at the Flamespire Phoenix, but it's flying through the woods. It's doing a really good job at dodging, so I kind of give up after a volley here. It's not worth the ammo. Turn off fire at will, and I'm actually going to start moving more into this choke. In terms of how I see the battle playing out, I see there kind of being an infantry engagement, and I'm hoping to get my Warlock Engineer into a position where they're not taking a ton of damage, kind of like the Fey Enchantress, using them to sap hit points off my opponent. And provide a lot of value that way. He also does have Howling Warp Gale, the Warp Lightning, and Death Frenzy. I think those are my three favorite spells from his lore of magic. The Howling Warp Gale will prove to have some usage here with 2 flying units. Well, I think I can now see the Noble. It'll help hold them in place, as they've been doing a very good job at dodging. But there's no dragon. I was really hoping for a dragon. So my opponents pulled their Dragon Princes around to this side. They're kind of scouting out my army with their flyers, and they're going to start to move up, and I'm going to follow in kind, starting to move my forces forward as well. I'm trying to get lots of space between my front line and my back line. Considering my back line has all these range units, I do want to keep them safe from their infantry. At least that's what I'm thinking. Of course, they have quite a potent cav force on the flanks that will do me dirty. So, as we start to move into position here, take a drink of water. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I have a Hellpit Abomination. I don't usually bring these, but I had some gold that I wasn't sure how I was going to spend, and the Natty Bubo Sharpshooter's taking some shots there. Not sure if they're hitting anything, but I'll probably take them off fire at will here as well. Kind of a waste here. The Slingers, though, happy to let those guys fire. I'm trying to get the Warlock Engineer in a position for a Howling Warp Gale so I can unload on them, but it doesn't look like they're going to give it to me. I don't see this happening, so my Council Guard are unbraced, facing the other way, and they get rear charged. Thankfully, it's only Illyrian Reavers. If this is Dragon Princes, it'd be quite devastating. Oh, and yes, they move their Light Wizard forward, and I use Natty Bubos and the Warp Lightning Cannon to immediately just push them all the way back. Routes them off. They're going to get an Earthblood to heal back up, but some good work there. Their Bolt Thrower is firing into my Izzet's, I'm going to stop trying to say that name. Izzet's Zap, just the Warp Lightning Cannon. So I'm going to try and return fire onto it before kind of realizing, I'd rather just get the shots that I can with it before it dies rather than try and waste it trying to kill a bolt thrower. The bolt thrower does not have much threat to me. So the Illyrian Reavers get a little bit too close, and as a result, I'm able to push them back a little bit. The Hell Pit Abomination being a great tool against large targets. I'm going to try not to get too far away, though, because they are clearly trying to work their way into my Warp Lightning Cannon, and they're actually going for a bit of a dive bomb attack here with the Phoenix and the Noble. However, I do get a Howling Warp Gale, and I get to turn all of my missile units onto them for a little bit, only having 2 real missile units that aren't slingers. So I'm not going to do a ton of damage, and the cannons take a while to turn here. I'm going to get 1 shot that misses, and the second shot hit. Does a lot of damage there, actually. Now we've kind of collapsed these Illyrian Reavers and routed them off. Looks like they're terrified. Not shattered, though. They have another unit of Illyrian Reavers coming in, using a good job distracting my back line while they engage. So at this point, I'm going to try and surround this Phoenix and this Noble and kill them as quickly as possible while pulling my Natty Buboes out of the fight, which is actually kind of a bit of a mistake. They would probably be a little bit safer in there, considering that there's Illyrian Reavers here and here. They're looking to make their moves, and Dragon Princes on this side. The infantry fight, kind of just a little bit of a wet noodle slapping contest here. Clan Rats versus Spearmen. The Clan Rats will lose, but it'll take them a little bit of time to do that, which is my hope. The Dragon Prince is going to come in here. I wonder if they'll get a really good charge onto this blob of Storm Vermin. Does look like Death Frenzy went down, though, so they're immune to Psychology, and they got that upgraded weapon strength and melee attacks. They're going to put down a whooping on these Dragon Princes as they come in, if they don't pull out quickly. I'm going to use these Skaven Slaves actually to intercept these Illyrian Reavers. I don't want my Natty Buboes to get caught out. Not a ton of damage, actually, to those Dragon Princes. Pretty focused on that Phoenix. And this is giving the High Elf player, I just want to put props to Time Lord here. I mean, they played this so well. They used the very tanky Noble and Flamespire Phoenix to blob up a lot of my expensive infantry, giving them good shots of their Bolt Thrower. If they had an offensive caster, I don't know if their Light Mage took Banishment. Looks like it only took Net. But if their Light Mage took Banishment, then, that would be excellent usage of the spell right there. So the Warp Lock Engineer is in the front lines, draining some health, as you can see. But my front line is starting to lose, so I pull a little bit of Storm Vermin down to try and support. They don't really need to be blobbed up, so back here, I've kind of actually given up on protecting my range units at this point. I'm feeling really swamped in my back line, and I figure, you tend to use melee units less effectively if you're using them to defend stuff, rather than playing them to their own strengths. So at this point, I kind of am like, all right, whatever. They're going to kill my Natty Buboes, and they're going to kill my Warp Lightning Cannon. I'll get whatever shots I can with it, and not worry about it. Another Warp Lightning going down here, just doing some work on these Spearmen. Trying to use up those Winds of Magic between the Death Frenzy and the Warp Lightning. And the Flamespire Phoenix is so low, but it gets the Rebirth proc, and it gets all that health back. Very annoying. But Tretch and the Hell Pit Abomination are a great duo to try and take that out. As you can see, they're laying down a lot of work on that thing, them both being good anti-large combatants. The Storm Vermin getting a little bit, tied around back here, trying to catch these Illyrian Reavers and Dragon Princes. As my frontline engagement is kind of slowly going on. At this point, Alariel is kind of, I don't know what she's going for here. I don't know if this was a misclick on my opponent's part, because everything else was just really, really good. But Alariel gets caught back here. She gets kind of back here with the Illyrian Reavers, and while Clan Vulcan's Tail Slashers won't be doing a ton of work to her, once I see her back here, I'm going to try and get the Hell Pit. I'm going to try and get all of my Storm Vermin onto her, and we'll be able to take her out very quick. Although she does manage to run away here. I wonder if there's a different engagement if she gets stuck out. Yeah, look at this. I mean, just sapping health off 3 units of Spearmen here just by existing. Not getting focused down. They don't have melee infantry that's, tough enough to take that guy out. And as a result, they're just going to really suffer here. They charge in this Phoenix and Alariel. Here we go. Alariel's in here. And the Flamespire Phoenix goes down to the Hell Pit Abomination. And when the Dragon Princes pull out, Alariel's not going to be able to. I'm going to focus everything onto her. and trap her in here, and she's gonna go down pretty quickly. I mean, she's not a terrible melee combatant with 67 melee defense, but that actually goes down once she loses her martial mastery, and as you can see, her hit points are falling away very quickly. Natty Bubos actually do manage to regroup and take some shots at that light mage. She tries to heal herself. It's actually kept her alive quite a bit longer there. Probably gave her an extra 100 to 200 health. May have been better used on her Blob of Spearman in terms of the effectiveness she was going to get out of it as kind of her death blow there. The Dragon Prince is a little bit too late to save her, and charging into the Council Guard, not going to be a fight that they love, but their archer line here and the bolt throwers are pretty healthy still, and they have a lot of ammunition left. And, you know, the Council Guard don't have shields. The Stormvermin with shields obviously have shields, but the Council Guard do not, and the Hell Pit does not. So they're a decent target. The Noble over here taking out the Natty Bubos once they regroup. Definitely a good call on his part. They only have, I don't know, 7 or 9 models left, but they can still put in a lot of work. That's half their unit models. And the Warp Lightning Cannon, believe it or not, is still alive and taking shots at this Noble. Wow, hitting again and again. I think that was 3 shots in a row that it hit, even though there's only 2 cannons up. It hit one in the last volley. Clan Vulcan's Tail Slashers coming in here with their awesome flaming swords, accompanied by the Warlock Engineer. Get it down to just his Warpstone armor, continuing to sap the health off everyone. Just that Warpstone armor effect is just so powerful. I mean, I doubt that he has 94 kills from his melee attacks and his spells. I bet a lot of that is due to, although he probably got like 20 kills right there, yeah, on due to just sapping the health away from everyone. So that was a really interesting battle. I really want to shout out to Time Lord. I was pretty sure I'd lost that when I saw my blob forming in the back line. Really well played. A lot of intense micro in that build. I could definitely see that working. Maybe if you didn't have to fight uphill into such a layered defense. But yeah, interesting battle. I like my build for the High Elves. I don't know. I've kind of been just gravitating towards smaller amounts of range fire from the Skaven, and trying to protect it a bit more, a bit better. But I figure if I have less artillery or less range units, it'll be easier to defend. But I'm kind of finding that that's not really the case, and maybe there's a different way to play that would give me better benefit. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.